was in DC and he was in Columbus, and we, started going back and forth, and it developed very quickly. We got a place in DC together, and he asked me to marry him after 6 months.
So it's something we both always wanted. We actually both had thought about adopting on our own if we were single.
Yes.
But both obviously wanted to be. I mean, we both wanted to be with someone else. It's a lot easier to do it as a couple, and so we from the beginning knew we wanted kids, and that was part of our plan. And we were together for a couple years, and then we started the adoption process.
We got married in 2007, and we did all the adoption sort of groundwork in 2008. And our eldest daughter was born in 2009, 5 years ago yesterday. And then we about 2 years after that, we started again with the same agency, and our daughter Sophie was born at the end of 2011.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was great. A lot of very strong feeling of connection with the birth parents, and realizing what they went through, and the decision that they made, and it puts a lot of responsibility, I think, on us to do what's best for the child, because they certainly trusted that we would, or had confidence that we would. Yeah, it was great.
Kids just change your life. I mean, it just changes everything. I mean, you pretty much spend most of your life worrying about yourself, right? And then if you partner up with somebody, you have another person to worry about. But when you have and you have so much freedom and free time, and you have kids, it's like, oh my God, I'm responsible for this little human being. I'm in every way, right? And they're completely helpless when you first get them, and you completely have to take care. And it's all about them. That's what you think about. And there's a different kind of love that you have for children that is just different from anything else in the world. I mean, it's completely unconditional. I would literally, if I had to, throw myself in front of a bus to protect my child. And I've never had that feeling before until I had, we had the girls.
Because Ohio doesn't recognize marriages, same-sex marriages, either performed in Ohio or in other states, they only allow, they either allow legally married couples to adopt or single people to adopt. And so because we are not legally married, we were considered, one of us, we were considered to be single people. And so we had to decide who was going to actually legally adopt the girls. And that was Tom in both cases. And so, as far as the law is concerned, as far as the state is concerned, he's the legal father, period. And even though, we're together and I've been taking care of the girls since they were born, we had to cobble together a legal relationship between me and the kids.
But even just having to have the conversation, I mean,
is a little bit odd.
You're married, although not legally married in Ohio. You're married, and you have to say, well, which one of us is going to be the legal parent to our children that we're going to adopt? I mean, it's insulting in every way, but you have to do it. And then we had to get very practical about it and said, well, of the two of us, which would provide the most financial security, which would provide, right?
Which was going to make the most sense to the court. When we got married in 2007, that's our real marriage. We made a commitment to each other in front of our family and friends. When we adopted our children, I mean, we're their parents. I'm their father. He's their father. The state confers, sort of a legal recognition that, for legal purposes, is significant and very important. But it doesn't. The reality of my relationship with the children, or our relationship together, does not depend on what the state does or doesn't do. You think about two working moms or two working dads who are out there. Maybe they have one or two kids, and they have talked about getting married. Maybe when it's legal in Ohio, maybe. But in the meantime, they're worried about work. They're worried about their kids, and so instead of piling the kids in the car and trying to figure it out and drive to Chicago or Maryland or New York or wherever, they just cross their fingers and hope that disaster doesn't strike and that something doesn't happen to one of them and leaves the other in the lurch.
You really think about, right now it's Kasich and DeWine, who our governor and our attorney general, who basically saying, we're fighting this. We believe marriage is between one man and one woman. Okay, that's great that you believe that, but there's these families out there, and they're prolonging this. They could very much choose to not appeal it. And all of a sudden, our marriages would be able to be recognized. And so they've chosen to do this, and honestly, I think it's mean.